Hello to the beautiful people of Talk to Be. It's Talk to Be, baby. Gay. Yes, now. I missed you so much. I missed every one of you. It feels like it's been a whole year without you, but it's a lie. I'm always on your faces. Thank you for being amazing. Thank you for watching Talk to Be. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for the likes, the comments. Thanks for the support that I get for my guests. I do not take any part of it for granted. Yes, it's Talk to Be time. It's another time to learn, to unlearn. So call your friends, call your family, call everyone around you to come watch Talk to Be along with you. My name is Dr. Abiola Adebayo Akinrinde. All right, I have my guest in the building already. Yes, it's one of those days that we have to learn. We have to, some things, life just happened to people. Yes, it does. So if you are healthy, if you're fine, everything is working for you, I hope you appreciate that it's just God's grace. Okay? For the people that are in situations, we are praying along with you. We know that very soon God will wipe away your tears, give you joy in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, please note that all views and opinions expressed on this show are solely that of my guest. It's not of me, neither is it of Talk to Be. I'll be right back. Don't go away.
Talk to be, share your experience.
All right, thank you for staying tuned. In case you're just joining us, you're watching Talk to Be. And I have a guest, a beautiful guest in the studio with me, someone who has gone through it, and then she's ready to share her story with us so we could learn from it as well. So join me as I welcome my guest. Hello, ma'am.
I'm very well. Good day.
So good to have you here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Let's get to meet you. Let's go to the business. Who is sitting pretty on my chair today?
Well, my name is Koleosha Tutu, and
Okay.
I'm a mom of 4 and a wife.
Wow.
I'm from Shagamu. Marriage brought me to Lagos, so and I life has always been good until cancer came knocking, but it's still very much okay. Like I was born into a royal home. My dad was the king in his lifetime, but growing up was fun.
It
We
was
had
a
everything.
king.
Yes,
Where?
in Shagamu.
Shagam. Wow.
Yes, so we had virtually almost everything because he's the kind of person that wants to give his kids the best he can offer. So I went to Olabisi Onabanjo University. I finished 2012. I read computer science. So I've worked in a couple of places and all of that, but at a point I had to stop all this office work because of the kids.
Okay.
So when I got pregnant for my 4th baby,
4th.
yes,
You tried.
we were actually not expecting any more babies, but family can actually have his own drama.
I know.
So, and then it was about that time my husband had a little bit of issues with his job. He had to quit off his job, so he went into this transport business, and that's what he's been doing basically for now.
Okay.
So I was into a bit of petty trading. I sell provisions, foodstuffs, and all of that. So when the baby came, we were in between decisions. I was just like, this is a gift from God, so we just have to face it. So when the pregnancy was about 6 months, I was just in the bathroom and I was bathing, and I just felt something on my breast. Babe, come on, this thing is not here before. And it was just like, maybe it's just the body preparing for breastfeeding and all of that, since it's not the first pregnancy. So we waved it off that week. I think it was about 2 weeks after. Again, I checked. I was like, I can still feel this peanut size. let me go to the
How
clinic.
many years ago are you talking about?
That was last year, June.
Last year, June.
Yes.
Okay.
So I went to the health center where I was doing my antenatal, and they said the nurses checked and they were like, we can't find anything. Are you just maybe hallucinating or something? I said, no, I know I can feel it. So I started checking myself again, and I pointed it out to them like, okay, this is where this thing is. So she said that don't worry, it's just maybe your body preparing for breastfeeding and all of that. Good. So I went back home. I didn't even put my mind to it. So I think I was coming for my appointment in August, and I noticed like it was getting bigger. Well, let's go again. I went there. The doctor, I met the doctor. He was like, he was going to check. He checked. He says, plus or minus, let's just do a breast scan to rule out anything. So I went to the breast scan, the sonographer.
So
she did.
at that time, they didn't detect anything.
It was just the lump, but they felt
Okay.
it was harmless.
Okay, that
Yeah.
wasn't cancerous
Yes.
or anything. Okay.
Because it was still very small then. So I went there, and the sonographer checked. She checked the armpits, she checked both breasts. She was just like, oh, madam, you are fine. So they wrote fibroadenoma on the results, which is just an harmless, a benign lump. So I was cool. I was still just happy about it. Like after I delivered, they'll just remove the lump and life moves on. So we went back. I was supposed to have my baby, I think, last week of September, but over time, I've always had induction for my other kids. So when it was 40 weeks, I went back and they're like, okay, we need to do induction again. We thought this baby was going to come on her own and all of that. I had induction. It was like the longest labor I've ever had, like 14 hours of labor. So at the point I could not even see. I was just there struggling and everything. So in between, I slept off. I had a dream. I saw my mom, my late mom, and she was just like, don't worry, everything will be fine. And the doctor just came and like, madam, you are sleeping. You are supposed to have contraction and all of that. So they gave me the drip to hasten the labor and all of that. So the baby came. We welcomed our princess, and I went back home. So that day when they were discharging me, the doctor that was supposed to check myself and the baby came. I was like, madam, kilo liar. I was just like, it's just an harmless lump that everything will be fine. She said, have you done a scan? I said, yes. So she asked me to come back. So after
It was that big at that time.
yes, it was now very obvious, like it was bigger than the second breast. So she said I should still come back, that they need to remove it as soon as possible, but maybe I should just like bond with the baby, feed her for maybe, she said 3 months, but when she was a month old, I went back and I told them like, okay, I'm ready for you to remove the lump. They said I have to stop breastfeeding her at that point. So I stopped with the mindset that we're just coming to remove the lump. So the other doctor I met when they were discharging me said she can't just remove the lump, that she was going to refer me to General Hospital. So they referred me to General Hospital Ikorodu, and I went there. They said I was going to do a biopsy just to check that there's some lumps that they look benign, but it might be something else. But the doctor said, with you, I'm looking at this thing, I don't think it's cancerous. I was even still smiling and happy within me, like, thank God though. So we did the test. I did the biopsy. The result came out 3 weeks after. That was November 23rd. So I went to pick the result. I was alone with my baby. And I was just reading through it, because I'm very inquisitive. I just opened it. Before I got to the doctor's office, I opened it. I just saw invasive carcinoma, stage grade 3, score 8, which, I went to Google, and Google scared the living daylight out of me.
I know, right?
So I was just crying. Everybody was just asking, madam, are you okay? I said, I'm fine. But within me, I was just shivering. And I said, no, I know this is a race I have to either face it or I back out and then bow down and just go peacefully. But looking at my children, I had to just be brave. I had to summon the courage. I called my husband. He was like, are you fine? Should I come to the hospital to pick you up? And so I said, no, I'll find my way home. Please stop crying. I said, okay. The doctor said, this lump. Okay, after the biopsy, the lump grew bigger. Like, let's say initially it was the size of an orange. No, let me say a lemon.
Yeah.
Within 3 weeks, it got to the size of a coconut. So it was that big. It was like I was almost like bending when I'm walking. So the biopsy, probably the biopsy, I wouldn't say the biopsy exactly, but I felt it was after the biopsy, it got bigger. So then it was still bringing out pus. So that day I got home, my husband was like, what are we going to do? They told me they were going to refer me to Lasot for neoadjuvant chemotherapy, which means that they were going to shrink the lump before I would have surgery. I was still reading about it, trying to prepare myself ahead. So by that day, my sister-in-law, like my younger brother's wife, said she knows a doctor that would take out the lump at Aton. So my husband went out. He went to work. So I said, okay, fine. What am I going to do? I called the doctor. She sent the doctor's number. I called him. He said if I can make it down to Aton that night, that the following morning he would see me and see if I can go in for the procedure. So I left home around 9. My husband was on his way back home. So I left home 9 o'clock with my baby strapped on my back. I took bike from Ikorodu to... That day was not funny. I took bike from Ikorodu to Yanopaja at 9 o'clock. When I got to Yanopaja, there was traffic and everything. So I was troubled, like, I don't want to get stuck. I took bike again from there, from Yanopaja to Aton, with a baby that is less than 41 days. Just because I was scared, I was troubled. I didn't know what to do, you know. I've not seen someone, though my stepmom had cancer, but I was quite young then. So I didn't know what the whole drama was like. So we got to Aton, you know. The doctor said it was late. I think I got there around past 11. So I slept over. We met him in the morning. He said that he could still, like the lump was not attached to the chest wall. I could still take it out. So I called my doctor at Ikorodu. That I met the doctor again. He said he can bring out this thing, and probably then I would start chemotherapy. The doctor said, "Madam, if you take out this lump, because with that size, there's high chances that it's going to spread. That some cancer cells might escape during that procedure, and it's going to give us a lot of issues. That don't be scared. Chemotherapy will not do anything than to just shrink that lump. Fine, you will lose your hair and all of those drama." So I was just in between that decision. So I kept praying, you know. So the other day he said I should think about it since I was not convinced I was going to go through it. So I called my husband again. I said, okay, this is what the doctor said. He said I should come home and let's sit and talk about it. So we went to Lasut. We met, they gave me some referral forms. I went to do some tests, a CT scan and everything. Every other organ was fine except that lump in my body. So I started chemotherapy January. I told my husband I was not ready for chemo in December because of the festive period. So I said I wanted to enjoy my Christmas and New Year. So he said, okay, it's fine. So January I started chemotherapy.
So you didn't take out the lump?
I did not because, you know, I felt it was a risk. So since I was still going to take the chemo, why not let me just shrink the lump and still do the procedure. I didn't know I was going to have a mastectomy then. So I started chemotherapy. You know, that day I was just there. Everybody was just, you know, cool about life. I met a lot of people that they've been in the treatment. You know, when I got there, I saw young children. I saw older people. In fact, that very day, my first day at the hospital, there was an old woman beside me that passed on. Like, she was sitting down, and at the point she just went like this.
Wow.
And that was the end. They struggled to revive her and everything, but she was gone. I think that day I was asking the nurses. They said she had issues with the heart, and they told the doctor told the daughter not to give the woman chemo for that day, but because she had paid, she just said they should. She didn't tell the nurses. The doctor did not allow them to take the chemo. So she lied to the nurses, and they gave the woman chemo. You know, they were not aware. So the mama passed on. So that's like triggered me a bit, but I was just like, okay, fine. At least there are people that are surviving this thing. My name, I added to survive it. So it was just like that. I took the first one. After leaving the hospital, they told me my hair was going to fall off. So I went to the salon. I scraped my hair off. I went bald. So when I got home, people were like, Tutu, what's wrong now? Mommy Ola, what's happened? Why did you shift? I said, I just wanted to change my look. Then I didn't really tell too many people about it. So along the line, after the second chemo, I just felt like if I had typhoid or malaria and somebody asked me what's wrong with you, I would gladly tell you I'm having typhoid or malaria. So if I'm fighting cancer, I should not be ashamed to tell you I'm fighting cancer because I didn't choose cancer. Cancer chose me. And then I felt God brought it my way because he felt probably I'll be able to withstand it. I know God will not test me with what is beyond me. So that was when I started telling people like, okay, fine, this is what is happening with me. And, the chemotherapy went on. I think the third one, we started having issues with the finances. So I spoke to one of my schoolmates, Chesson. Thank you very much if you are watching this. So I spoke to him and some of my cousins, Mrs. Baduro, my friend, Mrs. Balogun, and Doinsola. I told them what was going on. So they said, okay, what are we going to do? And then Sister Diola too, she's in America, so she said, okay, why not let us do a GoFundMe? Then Chesson too said, I should do that too. And Ahmed Medula. So my friends like that, we created a WhatsApp group. We're talking about the whole thing. So I was like, how are we going to do it? That, Facebook has a lot of scam issues and all of that. They said, okay, fine. You were into school politics and quite a lot of people know you in the department. So they should not think like you have an integrity. So they should not think, yeah, it's scam. So we put it out there, okay, Tutu is going through cancer treatments. She needs also amount of money for her chemotherapy, like that. I got a lot of calls and people were asking me, is it true? Is this and that? Those that would support. Those that would unfriend me on Facebook because I said I had cancer, did. I lost a lot of friends.
They weren't sure.
Not that they were not sure, but probably they felt ashamed to associate with somebody fighting cancer.
How?
I don't know, but that's just, they did not speak to me about it, but I noticed they were not on my friend list anymore. If I try to search for them, I can't find their name. So obviously they unfriended me and probably blocked me because of that. But I gained friends as well, people that are going through cancer treatment that they cannot speak out. They will come to me in my inbox and ask me questions. What did the doctor tell you? What kind of chemo are you taking? What is the next stage? So at that point...
What kind of chemo were you taking?
Yes, like they would ask me the prescription. So, there are different types for different type of cancer. What I was treating was invasive carcinoma. I was stage 3 because of the lump size and there was already lymph nodes involvement. So I was staged as stage 3 and grade 3. Grade 3 is probably the second to the most aggressive type of cancer, which means that it's the type that spreads fast.
Wow.
So I knew I had little time before things would get out of hand. So when I got to the hospital, I met quite a lot of people. I met people that they had another type that is called HR2 positive. Mine was triple negative, which means that the hormone receptor was negative, the protein receptors were negative. So they could not trace it to probably say it's an hormonal issue.
Okay.
So I met quite a lot of people and, I would ask them questions. People we met at the echo room, I became a motivator myself because I was still going through treatment, but, they used to see me as a strong person because, when they see my baby, she was still young. She was barely 3 months. I would go to the clinic with my husband and my baby, They'll be like, how are you coping? With 4 kids and I don't have an house help. The ones I can do, I do. The ones my husband would do, he will.
Why though?
Because we could not probably pay the house help.
Okay.
We're struggling with the financial burden because he was the only one working at that time. When I gave birth, my shop was almost empty, because of some tests and everything here and there. So we could not restock the business. So he was the only one doing the job. He's into fish farming too. But, he was partnering with his friend. It's not like a personal thing for him. So life was just like that, Sha. Then we used to go to the hospital together. I would stay in the car with the baby. Sometimes the other kids would go with us. So we were struggling with balancing the school runs and the hospital because when we get there as early as 7, would stay till probably like around 3, 4. So there was nobody to like stay with them. Fine, I have siblings, but they are far from me.
Okay.
And they too, they were troubled with the financial constraint of the chemotherapy. My stepbrother, who is still standing as a father to me now, and he was there. So now, before I forget this, there's someone that made a mess of things for us, who happens to be like, I would say a family doctor to my dad. Then he called my stepbrother and said, Akin, you don't need to run around for Tutu. There's a 50-50 chance for her. So why not just not waste the money? My brother was struggling with that. Most times when I'm talking with him on phone, he will just be like, what did the doctor say? Oh, is that hope? Is this, is that that? So at the point I had to ask him, like, why are you always asking this question? And he said, so person said, you have a 50-50 chance that most cancer patients that he knows don't make it.
Okay.
So that alone was a driving force for me. I was like, this person that thinks that I will not survive this thing, God, just prove this person wrong. So I was praying and believing God that my case would be an exception. So I was just living life. At the point, we also met some doctors that, like, when we go for treatment, they always advise us to seek for second opinion. So we went to different hospitals. We sought for different opinions. When there are seminars about cancer, I would attend, ask questions. So I was also reading about it. Then I finished the 4th chemo. So I went for a review with my doctor. She told me, okay, fine. The lump has shrunk and I'm responding well to treatment. We're happy. So we went to the surgeon. I was told to go and find out about my surgery. We went to the surgeon. We met different people that gave us different prices, 1.6, 1.2, So a friend I met on a WhatsApp group I joined, Gift, told me, oh, she's also going through cancer. She's a nurse, that she did her surgery at a hospital where she works. She works at Babcock in Elation. So she told me their fee is still reasonable enough. They have good doctors and they use a laser machine for their surgery. So I went there. I met the doctor. The doctor said, okay, fine. I think you need to just probably do 1 more chemotherapy. Then you come in for your surgery. Then the remaining 3, you can do that after your surgery. So that will be like a mop-up after the surgery. If there's anything that is escaping during the surgery, those 3 would flush it out. So we're struggling for the money and everything. So we went back to the GoFundMe. I went back to my friends. I went back to my Facebook. And all this while I was taking my chemotherapy, I was not very active on my TikTok, but I just said, let me just start documenting all these things. So each time I go for my chemo sections, I'll make a video, I'll post, I'll dance. I was just this free type. Like, I just wanted to make myself happy because I know thinking would not solve anything. So a lot of people that they would see me in the hospital making videos, they'll be like, this one, no. But I would speak to them and say, this Irono that you are talking about, has it made any effort to you? Like, has it added anything to you? So when I come to the hospital, the nurses would always make reference to me. Like, Mrs. She's taking life as it comes. So, it was just like that, Sha. Then we went in for surgery. We were able to get enough money for the surgery. We went in for surgery. My husband, my daughter was there. My brother's wife too, Olamide, she was with me during the surgery. And my friend too came around. My brothers, everybody was just there. So at a day to my surgery, I went to the hospital for a pre-surgery admission. I was still making videos. My doctor was like, you this girl, you're still doing video again. I said, fine. Even while they wheeled me into the theater, the waiting room, I was still making videos. So because I felt like they said my BP should not go high. So that's the only consolation for me. Like, let me just dance. But it was an emotional moment for me. I've never had any major surgery in my life. I cried because, I held my baby. I was just like, God, for the sake of these children, please keep me. And he heard my voice, It was a successful surgery. I decided to follow my doctor's advice to remove both breasts. Yeah, I took out both breasts. And the reason is because they said the type of cancer that I had was the type that spreads fast. And then the grade 2 is an aggressive type. So a lot of people that most times they do only one, they end up having issues with the second breast. So instead of me still coming back to people to say, oh, something else came up.
We want to take.
So I had to just like make up my mind and say, fine, to the glory of God, I have 4 kids. I'm not expecting any more babies. So let me just do both. I decided to do both, and
So they removed the
yes,
two
they
of
took
them.
out the both breasts. I had a radical mastectomy. There's difference between a simple mastectomy and a radical mastectomy. A radical mastectomy will dig deep into the body, like they will work on the chest wall, they'll take out lymph nodes, work on my upper neck here. So they did that, and they tested the breast. I saw the picture. My husband took a video of everything. I told them to like keep records for me.
Yeah.
So before I just go on with my story, I just want to use this moment to say thank you to my husband. I really appreciate his support.
Yes.
Because I know people that I met in the hospital that their husband sent them out of the house because of cancer. Yes, I have a friend that will be coming in very soon for her surgery from Port Harcourt. She's coming to stay with me, and just because of cancer, her husband sent her out. So I just want to appreciate him for that support, because it's very rare to see a man that would leave his job, would leave his business and come and sit with me in the hospital. It would nurse me like a child, because there are days I won't be able to walk because of the side effect of chemotherapy. They would carry me, himself and the kids. They would feed me. Even when I'm throwing up, he's always there holding the bucket to like help me out. He's never ashamed to say my wife is going through cancer. And it's a rare opportunity for me, you know.
Before you continue, I was coming to that really. So I think we should really appreciate Mr. Kolusho, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. Because oftentimes we get to talk about men that are not doing well, women that are not so good, and we don't get to celebrate or appreciate the ones that are good enough. So I was really coming back to that, but I just want my guests to talk, do the talking, give them time to, speak out their minds, really. So that's why I didn't want to cut. But you mentioning it, Mr. Akolosho, thank you so much. Thank you. I know we're not supposed to be thanking you. You will think, oh, it's your job, you're just doing it. But because you're special, because you are just a great gift to your wife, to women, to humanity, we're especially appreciating you. Thank you for standing by her. Thank you for doing all that you're doing. We pray that your efforts will not go in vain. You will not do this and cry at the end of it.
Amen.
God will reward your efforts. He will give your wife good health. Your family will continue to be blessed. Thank you so much for being a very good example to men out there. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you. God bless you more. Thank you, sir. Please go ahead.
So, before all this chemotherapy thing came up, we told a friend about the cancer journey, and he was like, okay, fine. He knows someone that does the herbal stuff. That person said he was going to treat me. I don't need to do surgery. I don't need to do all of that. I just remembered that now. So let me just talk into that. I'm going to that part of it. He took some money from us. I think initially we negotiated for 450,000. So
To treat the cancer.
Yes. So we've made part payments, and along the line, he told me, Ofani, this and that. He was going to do all sorts of things. He gave me concussions to drink. In fact, aside from him, there were different people that, different people come with different suggestions and say this and that. So we kept wasting money at that point. Like, we spent almost like close to 2 million naira on herbal remedies before we decided to now. Like, that was that December, between that November 23rd to December that we went in for the hospital stuff. we're just going to different alagbo places and all of that. And at the point, my husband just said, this thing is not going down. Are you sure? So where I made up my mind not to even follow those things, where when the Baba said, he came to me, he applied something on the breast, one shea butter and one green substance. It was like, Tonyo Ebati son, mama ye. And my husband was outside waiting. I was just like, oh my, as in, that thing came to my head like, oh my, yummy. Yeah. So when we got outside, it was not like, okay, umamu erin, umamu ewonu aye, ọkọ tí oni issues pẹ̀lú iṣẹ́, umawa okay, within few months things will boom. Cancer la gbé wá sà. Nǹkan mi la tún bá pàdé. So I went out. When my husband was in the car with me, we're about going, I said, Bobo, this thing that this Baba said, oh, this was what he said, this was what he said. I said, me, I can't continue to come to this person, no, that let's just go to the hospital and follow the hospital route. We've wasted money already. And I went to another place in K2. Those ones, they were these natural parts stuff. So they were giving me camel milk, some other things that was just going to boost my immune system. So I took those ones. But every other thing, that particular person that was saying he wanted to go far in life, about myself, like one moment, I threw it away, because I felt if this kind of person can say that to me, seeing my husband seated, he can actually give me something else that would make me even forget my marriage. So we stopped going there, and we faced the hospital route. And when I had surgery, I was supposed to come home, but because of the kids, they don't understand the pain and everything. So I went to my cousin's place in Djibouti, Adeola. I was at a place for 3 weeks because it was closer to my hospital. And my aunt too, Mrs. Okoyimbo, I want to sincerely appreciate her too for her support. She was there with me in the hospital. She was always coming to our daughter's place to check on me and everything. They took care of my baby too. And her husband, in fact, sometimes when the baby is just crying and everything, he would, like, we call him a lover. He would back my daughter to like pet her and everything. He's just my cousin's husband, and he was that caring. I got a lot of love, which was what helped me. That alone made me feel like I'm not alone. So I got that support. It's not everything about money, but people showing that they care, they feel concerned. My schoolmates in Olabisi Obanjo, they came together, they put something up together for me and say, Tutu, this is our own token to support your treatment. It might actually not be like very much, but it's an act of love, and I sincerely appreciate it. And for everyone that has said, okay, even they saw my flyer and everything, even if it's 5 naira, it's something, and I sincerely appreciate it. So getting that love made us find it easy to navigate through cancer treatment. We also met a naturopath after my surgery, Dr. Nike. She's into ozone therapy, sauna baths, what's it called? High dose of vitamin C infusion. These are cancer treatments too that does not affect the healthy cells, unlike chemotherapy that kills both the good and bad cells. But I've not been able to start treatment with her because of the bill, because that's almost like another 3 million naira treatment. So, but hopefully someday I would get to go and start my treatment with her for that. Then the doctor said, after my surgery, they did the test on the breast, they took out. And to the glory of God, there was no residual tumor, which means that they took out everything that was cancerous at that point. The lymph nodes, there was no cancer cells in the lymph nodes. So that means it has not gone beyond my armpits and the breast that they took out. So there was no spread to the lungs or any other vital organ in the body. So I've always been doing these fast before my chemo sections. Not like fasting in the church way, but if I read about it that if you do water fasting before chemo sections, it actually reduces the side effects. like
Okay.
the throwing up, the weakness, and everything. So I would take water 24 hours. Then I'll take some supplement. I buy a lot of supplements. I spend a lot of money on buying supplements like spirulina, chlorella, wheatgrass, matcha tea, Essiac tea. I take a lot of things just to like boost my hormone and then my immune system. Sorry, boost my immune system, and also they contain anti-cancer properties. They contain things that would help my body build defense against the cancer
Yes,
cells that want
yes.
to come up
Yeah.
again. So I do that as well. Also, follow the doctor's advice on diet. When we go to the hospital, the dietitian will come in and say, "Oh, don't eat this thing, don't eat this thing," and they will tell us why. But the way the country is now,
What and what are the things you're not meant to eat?
for the kind of cancer that I'm treating, I don't eat fried food. If I want to fry my food, it has to be with olive oil. I use olive oil. I don't use the regular brands for frying. And that's because of the heart. Like taking chemotherapy, it affects everything in your body. Like the heart, your liver is even at the receiving end because the liver would process it. So to have to like not have issues with the liver again after treatment,
Yeah.
they will advise us not to eat sugary food like all these soda. I don't want to mention any brand. Soda, sugar in particular.
Soft drinks.
Soft drinks, yes.
Vitamin.
And especially alcohol. You're supposed to even flee from it in all ways because the content of sugar in them is also on the high side. I don't take alcohol. I don't eat sugary food. Instead of sugar, I use jaggery or honey for that. Then for my pap, I make my pap myself now. I tend to like reduce eating out because I don't know what they put. We don't use, for my kind of cancer, majorly in the hospital, they say less Maggi, but I don't use Maggi at all. I make my spices myself and at least to be sure of what I'm consuming. I pick up some rosemary, cloves, some star anise. I go to my 12 there, I buy those things and I mix them myself. I do that. Sometimes I buy from my friends that they sell too. Like they know what I'm going through and I'm sure their composition is healthy. So when I get too lazy to make it myself, I buy as well. But basically, just eat healthy. I do a lot of fruits. I do a lot of juicing. I take cabbage, purple cabbage, parsley. All those greens majorly.
Yes.
Just to like enjoy the anti-cancer properties too. Then, basically, it's just about you eating healthy. Watch your weight because weight too is a part of what increases the risk of cancer. It could be hereditary, it could be a hormonal case, but in my own situation it wasn't hormonal. I would not say it's hereditary, but I've not had that test. There's a test you do, the BRCA test you do to know if it's hereditary, but I've not done it yet. So
what treatments are you on at the moment?
well, I'm through with chemotherapy. I finished chemotherapy in August. I finished 8 courses of chemo sections. I'm supposed to go in I've been referred for my radiotherapy. But because of the cost involved, we've not been able to come up with enough funds for that. So we're still hoping to like come up with something so that I'll go and get that done. Once I'm through with radiotherapy, I'll go in for the ozone therapy and also the high dose of vitamin C infusion. So that at least that will be a wrap for the hospital treatment. All I just do after that is just to live healthy, take supplements and my lifestyle basically, and start life back.
Okay. Is there a particular cause or why do we have cancers? I'm asking for the audience.
Yeah,
really.
I understand.
So, I know over the years there has been. What are the causes of cancer? Why do people have it? How do we prevent it? So, I'm sure from your
Experience.
experience, you can educate us more.
Okay. Basically, science has not been able to pinpoint a particular thing. Like, let's say, okay, in malaria, you say if mosquito bites you, you tend to have malaria and all of that. Science has not been able to say this is the exact cause, but it could be linked to the way I said it earlier. Like, it could be an hereditary problem.
Yeah.
It could be weakness in your immune system. When your immune system is not strong enough, cancer is not like a disease. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
Quote and unquote. It is your body trying to tell you that we have these toxins built up in your system that the liver cannot push it out. So it will now accumulate. Cancer accumulates for over 8 years before it will now become a lump. Then the way they now name it depends on what part of the body it is. If it is on the breast, it becomes breast cancer. If it is on the pancreas, it becomes a pancreatic cancer. If it's on the lungs, it becomes cancer of the lungs. So the name is based on where the tumor is. So over time, from what I've read, from people I've met, I have over, let me say, on that WhatsApp group that I belong to, we have over 300 people that are fighting cancer. Yes. We have caregivers there. We have their family members there. One way or the other, you are linked to somebody that is fighting cancer. So we share experience. We, if you find out about this treatment, you come up on the group and say, okay, this is what I found out too. So basically, if your immune system is strong enough, it fights off diseases, not just cancer. But in the part of the world where we find ourselves, we just wake up and we eat. We don't know, like, okay, this food is good for this this kind of person. Okay, now let's say, for example, I'm weighing 93 before my cancer treatment. I was weighing 93. During my treatment, I tried to beat down my weight to 82. That was because when I checked my BMI, it was on the high side. That's the body mass index. So having a high BMI, it means that you are prone to have some unhealthy issues. Like, it could be your heart, it could be the liver, it could be the kidney. I learned about those things because I was trying to find out, what am I supposed to do right? What am I supposed to do? So the basic thing is just the immune system. If your body is well oxygenated, it fights off cancer. And also, the water we drink actually to contribute to it. A lot of us, we buy these branded waters. We drink sachet water. A lot of those water, they've carried it around in the sun. Those nylons they use for them, the plastics. So those things, when they are under the sun, it makes the water acidic. Makes the water acidic. So what we do for a cancer patient, not everybody, but for me and a few of my friends that I know, like, we are on the same page, what we do is we try to make our water alkaline. Cancer does not thrive in an alkaline environment. So there's something we call a baking soda.
Baking soda.
Yes. So, like, if I want to drink this water now, I'll just add a little pinch of baking soda into it. It becomes alkaline. If you use a pH tester to test it, it becomes alkaline. For the start, I was using the regular one like bakers use. Because I bake once in a while too. So I used that. But along the line, I decided to go into, there's this brand I use, Arms and Baker. That's the recommended one from the matron that coordinates that group. The group is called Crystal Earth. So we make the water alkaline. I drink that. Not that I don't drink regular water like this, but at least bulk of the time, I try to do that. Also, the food has a major contribution to cancer too. A lot of people eat unhealthy.
We do.
A lot of people. In fact, myself, I was like that too. Because, we buy this meat, we buy that, and then another thing we run away from is red meat for cancer patients. They say red meat is not good for us. Like me now, if I had to eat chicken, I would prefer the local one. If I'm not buying the local one, maybe, and all these old layers that I know that, okay, even if they vaccinated them, it would have weared off in their lifetime in the poultry. So I do that as well. You know, bulk of my fish now, I eat scaly fish. They recommended that for us in the hospital. Not that eating Titus, eating kote, eating shower is bad, but not too often. Like, bulk of those things, you don't do it like everyday thing. Then smoked food, all this pomo that is smoked with tire, those things in bits chemicals that are not healthy for our kind of person. Then
Smoked goat meat.
yeah, if you want to
smoked
eat
turkey.
I don't eat barbecue now because of the process. But if you have to eat something that is grilled or smoked, probably you have to use an air fryer.
Okay.
You can use an air fryer. You can use your oven. But not using what's it called, charcoal, because of the fumes. Obviously, you can't wash it after roasting them. I don't eat roasted corn or this bolly. If I have to make bolly, I use my air fryer to do it. It's not like you will not eat them, but you do it in an healthy form.
Yeah.
Yes. So those petty things are major things we need to work on. So basically, to answer your questions, the cause of cancer has not been scientifically proven, but it has to do with choice of lifestyle, our body weight, let me say inheritance, like hereditary causes, and then sometimes stress. In fact, not even sometimes, like stress is one major factor that can trigger cancer.
I hope you can hear, but stress
is one thing, because me as a person, I tend to have a bit of OCD. Like I'm an extremist. Like when this cup is here and my children put it on the next table, in the next 5 minutes I'm arranging it back. I'm always like, I want my things to be orderly. So it's stress. But now, if you like, scatter the whole house upside down. It is when I'm ready to stand up to arrange it that will arrange it.
I get.
That is me. Because I learned over time that you just need to take your eyes off some things.
I do. I get you.
So, for my kind of surgery that I had, this hand now, I can't use it to carry everything because I'm trying to avoid what they call lymphedema. Lymphedema is the swelling of the arm. Like you get to see a lot of people that their arms will be swollen, like it will be the size of this my thigh. And lymphedema does not have like a permanent treatment. They just manage it over time. And that is it. So to avoid issues like that, because the lymphatic system that was supposed to bring out the fluids has been removed during surgery. Not everything, but if you're supposed to have like 20 and they took out like 10, the function will not be comprehensive again.
That's right.
So I don't get to like do everything with my hand. Then also, that on that stress note, we like personally I encourage people to like checkmate what they do, like the kind of job they do, the kind of business they do. So basically, if you are into things like maybe an hairdresser, you are into, because I was also actually, before I got pregnant for my last baby, I learned I was trying to finish up my fashion class. So at that point when the pregnancy came, I stopped. Now I'm trying to go back to it, but because of don't use this is major hand I use, don't use this, and I have to sew, I have to cut and all of those things. I had to like kill that dream of that fashion aspect of me. So I was just thinking, okay, maybe when things get better, I'll start up my business back.
Mrs. Kolosho, you as a person, what has life taught you?
Well, I would say life has taught me to be kind, to be positive, regardless of what life throws at you. Always be positive-minded. That God bringing this thing your way is not to mock you or probably make you feel less of, like, maybe probably like God doesn't love you.
It's not because he hates you.
Yes. Over time, I've learned to accept fate. Not in a negative way, but what I don't have control over, I don't stress over it. Like, let's say, for example, now, I'm supposed to, like the way I'm going for treatment now, and there's no fuel in the car. I would not I'd rather not get depressed over it. I would rather say, okay, what is the next option? That is me. I don't get myself worked up. I don't overthink, because that is going to trigger my stress level. And when you are stressed, some hormones are being activated, and it's still not healthy for me. So, and also, another thing I've learned in life is show love at any point in time you have the opportunity, because the next minute is not guaranteed. It is what you have invested in people they would have to say about you. I lost someone very dear before my cancer treatment. I am here advocating for people going through cancer. I don't have a foundation yet, but someday I'll get into that. And the first thing is, don't think life has ended because you've got cancer diagnosis. There are people that are going through worse health challenges than cancer patients. Somebody that is going through kidney problem now, they have to do dialysis as well. So just see it like it's just something that can happen to every other person. Don't think like, oh, life is unfair to me. That is the first thing. Number 2, learn to be courageous. Learn to face your fear. Learn to see it as probably there's a lesson for you to learn. For somebody like me now, after my chemo sections now, I go back to the hospital once in a while to just check on people that are still going through treatment. I might not have the funds to like say, okay, I'm supporting your treatment, but if I have to refer you to where I had my surgery, I will. As at yesterday, I still went with a friend to Elation because she wants to go and have surgery there. I don't have appointments there, but I went there all the way from Lagos to the hospital with her. So if you need somebody to like hold your hand and walk through cancer treatment, I'm always available. You can reach out and say, okay, fine, this is the question I have. How can I go about this? How can I go about it? I'm not a doctor, but at least something I've walked through. So, and also, regardless of it, don't be ashamed to say you have cancer. I've seen somebody that said she doesn't want to cut her breast. And this woman went through chemotherapy. I think her treatment lasted for 2 years. And she passed on. I think it was 2 months ago she passed on. But tell me, will the husband not still remarry? The kids that you are claiming you love, if you love your children, you will do everything possible to...
Why did she refuse to take off her breast?
Well, I think, number one problem with people is the societal stigma. Okay. Also, some people, their spouse would not accept it.
Why?
Some men will be like...
rather have her die?
Not have them die. They believe that there are other alternatives to cancer treatment than removing the tumor, what's it called, sites.
Okay.
Like all these Alagbo people now. I've seen a lot of people that they come, even on my TikTok, they come on my TikTok session and they're like, you don't take chemotherapy. If you take chemo, you will die. And I tell them, I took chemo and I did not die. This is my hand. It's clear now. At the time I was taking chemo, my hand was as dark as this mic. My nails were very, very dark. I uploaded my pictures on my TikTok account. You know, my nails were dark. I lost my hair. My hair is just growing back. And this is the way I carry. Even when my hair there's no strand of hair on my head, I carry my head like this. I'm not ashamed to say, this is how I am. Somebody that they amputated the leg, will the person go and look for plastic and by force be putting it there? If they can afford the prosthesis, they will. I'm not even wearing a prosthesis the way I'm sitting like this now. I just bought this regular foam pad that the tailors use, and I put it in the bra top I'm wearing because I can't even afford the prosthesis yet. It's quite on the high side. So for me, losing your breast to save your life is worth it. So it's not something you should be ashamed of. And it's not just breast cancer alone. All forms of cancer. There are people that they have cancer of the eyes. Obviously, they will remove that eyes. They will. Because if the tumor is extremely big, they will. It's only those people that have the sinus or like the ones that it has to do with the nose. They operate it, they take out the tumor, then they fix it back. So it's not like they'll cut their nose off. I've seen somebody with a tumor on the jaw and the tongue. The lady later ran away from the hospital. That was the first day I got to the hospital. I asked about her from the nurse. They said she didn't come back. I don't know anything about that lady now. But a lot of times, I tend to like encourage them. Don't say because of my husband. If you die, that husband will marry another wife. If you are going to prostrate too, if you say because of my wife, I don't want them to operate me, how will I sleep with my wife? You are gone. So it's better to just do everything humanly possible. With the help of God, you'd fight it. And I know somebody that she's been living with cancer, off cancer treatment for 27 years. I know somebody that was staged at stage 4. In fact, Auntie Ada was told that she had 3 weeks to live, and she has lived 14 years now.
Wow.
She has a foundation that I know once in a while I join them to go out, reach out to people. And on a social media account, people would tell her, please let us hear word. Are you the only one? But she would say, what I have benefited from God is enough for me to advocate that cancer treatment, stop stigmatizing cancer patients, stop stigmatizing people that are going through health challenge. They did not choose to have that thing.
They didn't.
So we need to work on the society as well too. But please, anybody that is listening to me today, if you are going through cancer treatment, don't think that it is a death sentence. Some of us have gone through it. Yes, you can say, oh, she has just probably just barely a year into the treatment. But I know that God is taking me somewhere. He brought me this far, not to make me quit. I'm not I'm not saying that there's a guarantee, but to an extent, probably I will still have to do a PET scan. The PET scan will tell if there is no cancer in the body again. So that's what the PET scan does. So after my treatment, I'll do a PET scan. So if a PET scan says you're cancer free, it doesn't mean it has ended, because a lot of people have reoccurrence. But at least to a reasonable point, you know that particular one that you're dealing with is ended. There's a friend that she's just, I think she was 27, she was 23 when she had started cancer treatment. She had a recurrence 2 years after on her neck. After that, now the second breast is affected. She's going to go in for surgery too. So there's a big sister, Sister Busola. She has been of great help to me. She's always like, anytime I have cancer patients that, you know, I meet in the journey, she also went through cancer treatment. And I say, Sister Busola, this person is going through this thing. No, please, what can you do to help that person? No matter how little, she would reach out to that person.
I would really like to talk about that stigmatization. When you were, one thing I was trying not to forget. In fact, I had to start taking notes so I won't be forgetting some key points. But that one I just didn't want to forget at all, because I want to talk about it, and it's stigmatization. Please, guys, we need to watch it. Imagine somebody advising your brother or your cousin.
My brother.
Yeah, your brother, that she has 50-50 chances to live, that she might not survive it. I have had a similar word from somebody to another person, and that person picked offense till today in that thing. Yeah, they eventually lost the person, yes, but I'm not sure that person forgave the person that said that thing. Yeah. That stop spending money, the person is going to die. If people have decided to take care of their loved ones till the end, please let them go ahead. You are not in a position to advise them to keep the money, because the person will eventually die. I'm sure there are people who hadn't gone through what she has gone through, but she's here to share her experience. I know if you had met her outside, she's not wearing the top that she's wearing, even with the top, and you wouldn't have said, oh, she's a cancer patient, or maybe with her hair, if she has a wig on, you wouldn't have said that. So this stigmatization has to stop. Imagine a husband sending his wife out of the house because she has cancer. Like, how? Who does that? But it happens. She just said it. I hope we'll be able to have that lady here to share her experience. I wish her well. I wish her a quick recovery.
Once she's in Lagos, I'll bring her.
Can you imagine sending her out? We have cases like that. Please, I know sometimes it could be overwhelming. You can feel bad. But please don't stigmatize them. Like she said, they didn't choose it. Nobody prayed for it. Nobody, wished to have some sort of sickness, diseases, ailments, or affliction. But it can happen to people. And when it happens to them, let's just support them, please. And also, I would like to know, like, on the average, how much does a chemotherapy section, how much does it cost in Nigeria?
Chemotherapy depends on the how do I put it, the stage,
Okay.
the type of cancer. For those who are treating HER2 positive cancer, they take an injection they call Herceptin. And Herceptin on the average now that I know of is the loading dose is 2.2 million. And they will take at least 12 of that Herceptin injection aside the regular chemotherapy. So for my own type of cancer, I didn't do the the other what's called Herceptin injection because it was triple negative. But I have friends that they are going through that treatment. And, they'll be like, we have sold everything. I have a woman that sold her house because of cancer treatment. But after she met me, anytime she's going through treatment and everything, we always like drive down together from the house to the hospital. Just at least just to save cost for our transportation. And she, to the glory of God now, she's much better. She'll be going in for radiotherapy soon at Lutz. But there are some that they pay as low as 55,000. They are like my own. The first one I took was 238. Subsequent one between 198, 200. In between, it varies because of this dollar rate.
Yes,
that is what we would influence it. Yes. So basically, some people would even have 12 sections. It depends on how their body responds to the treatment. But for those that have the HER2 positive type of cancer, the least they will pay is over $1 million.
What can you say about treating cancer in Nigeria?
Well,
Because a lot of people don't believe in our medical system at all. As in, I'm sure some people are saying, they will call me, they will tell me, and they will tell me that, see, is there anything we can do? Let's send Mrs. Koleosho, let her get her way to the US, let her get her way to the UK. I know my people feel so much concerned about that, and we have a lot of people out there. But you going through that have gone through it, what's your take on that?
Well, from people that I've met, I'm like comparing the treatment I had and those abroad, like my cousin would say, she said the treatment abroad, sometimes if you have, I think they have an insurance or something there.
Yes.
It's more or less like it's free because of those that have insurance. But somebody like me now, if I travel out, I would definitely pay because I'm not a resident there. But the care they give, the way they those people that I've met that they took their treatment abroad, it's just like
It's
this
different.
and this is so far from each other. Because there's a lady I met.
Are you talking about caring for the patients, or you're talking about the how good they are abroad and how good they are in Nigeria?
Okay. I'm talking about both.
Okay.
In terms of the patient's care, the way some nurses will talk to you, you just feel like going home and just ending everything. And there are
Even
some,
as a cancer patient.
yes,
Wow.
some nurses, I'm not saying in my own facility, but I've met a lot of people that they share their experience with me. So, and there are some that are compassionate. They would hold your hand and say, no, we are together. We are going to fight over this. And, they still call you after leaving the hospital, like, how are you feeling? I hope you're not reacting to the treatment. My nurses will do that. And some doctors too, that they will tell their patients that, like the one that told my brother not to bother about me. I met another lady recently from my TikTok video too. She said a doctor told, I will not mention the name of the hospital, that a surgeon told her sister that she should start preparing to mourn her. They went for a review and like, okay, well, how much would it cost us to have our surgery with your hospital, this and that? And the doctor said, with the way your sister is going about her treatment, better start preparing to mourn her because she's not listening to me. And I asked the lady, I said, what did you say? She said she was just asking questions that because she's young, she's just 29. And in fact, the breast is just the size of cherry, agbalumo. That's the way I would describe the size of her breast. Like, this breast is still small, like, and she's yet to be married. That the person she's dating would not want her to like take out the breast. And I said, is it the marriage that is your priority or you being alive?
Health.
So I had to talk to her over it, like, babe, calm down. Leave the marriage plans yet. When you are alive, when you are fine, you can think of marriage. Cancer does not stop you from having kids. It doesn't mean you cannot. I've seen people that they even had no spouse before cancer, that after cancer treatment, they got married. So it's not, you will find love when God says it's a set time. So cancer is not a determinant to say, oh, will I see somebody to marry me or not? But we need to do enough. Like, the doctors need to improve on the way they present things to their patients, the way they explain. It's not everybody that is like Tutu that would take time to read and learn about what they are going through.
Yeah.
So, and then people that when you see somebody like me coming on social media to say, okay, I'm going through this is what my journey looks like, please, I don't want those unsolicited advice of, Ofani, Ofegba, Gusara, Kiniko. I don't want it. I took my decision to walk out and say, this is what I'm going through. If not that I'm coming here for this section now, or probably because I'm backing my baby, I even go out without this bra on. Like, I'll just wear my t-shirt like this and I go out. And people will look at me like, African queen, this and that. They see me like a tomboy. Some people would even say, I wish to have a low cut like you. And I'll say, Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kẹ́ rógun nǹkan tó fa low cut ele. You can cut your hair, but I pray you will not go through the experience that made me have this low cut. So it's just like that. For me, we can't compare the system there with what we have in Nigeria. We are growing. We'll get there. But we need to still like balance it up. If the opportunity for me to go outside the country to like finish up my treatment comes, it's all good. It's of good faith. It's not like I'm against it, but just because I cannot afford it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not even thinking in that direction, because the one I'm still struggling with here is there. So, but I'm not saying that we don't have kind doctors in Nigeria. We have best hands here. In fact, most of our doctors here are even the ones going abroad to like attend to people there too, because they believe we have the best educational system when it comes to medical science in Nigeria. But, you know, different people with different experience. But the ones I have met, they've been kind enough. You know, I had the best doctor. Even my surgeon till date, I still refer people to him, because while even going into the theater, the way he will still be playing with you, self, you will be so calm about it. Like, you are nervous about the surgery. So he will explain whatever procedures he wants to do for you, to you, the side effects, the discomfort you will feel after surgery, what drugs you can take. To buy feel by lelo. So I might explain everything. So I'm not ruling out treatment in Nigeria. I had my treatment here, my chemotherapy sections here. So if you cannot afford to go abroad, please stick to what they are offering us here.
Yeah.
Some of us had our treatment here. Fine, I'm not yet through with my treatment, but it doesn't mean like everybody must now say we want to go abroad. I'm not saying like that's the only option, but then we need to just like do better.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mrs. Koliosho. Thank you. Family, I'm sure you've learned something today, and she's been amazing. Now, you know how we do it, right? I want us to support her treatment. Number one thing that struck me and really shocked me was she didn't come because she wanted us to give her money. I noted when she said she's taking care of 4 children alone with her husband. She does not have help, probably because, of course, she could not afford to pay an house help. And I know how we do it on this platform. there is hardly anyone that comes here and their story are not changed for good, or the story is not changed for good. Please, I want us to do it again this time. Whatever we can do to support her treatments, to get better. I know we have people there. If you can send her abroad, you want the fact that she can talk like this, she can encourage people. It's a whole lot. We are hearing directly from her, sharing her experience. She's not being wheeled here, she's not carried here. She came herself. She must have spent so much to get here. The only thing we can do right now is to support her treatment, make her feel loved again, encourage her to stand till she gets better and till she's cancer free totally. She still needs to go a long way. She didn't come to me, she didn't ask me for help, she didn't ask me for money. She just said, I want to share my experience with people. Maybe one or two people can learn from what I have been through. And that really got me. When she explained when I heard her story, I was like, okay, no, please come around. And I know we can do it. We have always done it. You guys have been amazing. You are a loving family. I'm not taking the love for granted. Whatever we can do to support Mrs. Colley Show, let's do it again. Let's put a smile on this face. Let's make her feel loved. Let's make her, I don't know how she's able to narrate the whole story without crying. I was emotional. So that's to tell you how strong she is. I almost broke down. I controlled myself like, Kintie. She's not crying. Who are you? And that was how I was able to manage my emotions, because I know she has gone through so much. Let's do it again this time around. Thank you for sharing your experience with us.
You're welcome.
We love you. And this is to say,
wow.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so
We
much.
really appreciate you.
Thank you, ma'am.
And this is a little cash
Wow.
for your...
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. God bless you all. And may everything you lay your hands upon continue to prosper in Jesus' name.
Amen.
You will not regret having us come here to share our experience. Our experience will not bring sorrow to you.
Amen.
Because, when you have people come on your show and you are seeing them and they're happy, it's a motivation. So I pray that God will continually give you people that will continue to have positive testimonies.
Amen.
In the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, Mrs.
Yes, ma'am.
Colley. This is where I'll be saying goodbye today. I'm sure you've learned something today. Please, early detection helps as well. Do your screening, do your cancer test, whatever you need to do to keep
And you should not
yourself
run away
healthy.
from the hospital.
She said, do not run away from the hospital. Please, let's check ourselves. A lot of us are guilty. I do once in a while. Please, you too should do. I pray by God's grace you will never fall sick, will never be a victim of cancer or any other terminal diseases out there. God will keep us. We should also do our part. Live healthy. Eat something that is healthy. Run away from rough lifestyles. At the end of the day, they don't pay anyway. So I love you. I am grateful for the love that you show me. My name is Dr. Abiola Adebayo Akimide. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please do. You can also follow me on Facebook as Abiola Ayomide Adebayo. Till I come your way, same time on the same channel. Do not forget, in whatever thing you're doing, put God first, be determined, and stay focused. I love you, and God bless you all.
Talk to be, share your experience.